Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you are new to this channel then please smash that subscribe button now. And the film that we are going to be discussing today is the most awaited weekend film that I was waiting for. The film is Brahmastra, and after a very long time I'm doing a pure Hindi film review. It is not a comparison review or anything that I was doing with the Hindi films and some of the other films. And I just felt that I should make a video on Brahmastra, probably because of the effort that has been spent on the film. You know, the 7-year long effort, the journey that was there. I was in a totally different phase of my life 7 years back, and that is when the film was announced. And so the film has gone through its ups and lows, you know, and it certainly had multiple delays, some due to the VFX, then the lockdown, then the COVID, and finally it is out this weekend. And this is one of the most expensive films of the Hindi film industry, and so it needed to be on the game from day one. So when its trailer was out, I was really looking forward to the film. It seemed like an interesting mix of mythology and superhero. You can call it whatever you want, but more mythology. I think my inclination was a little more towards mythology. Something that I also watched in the Telugu film Karthikeya 2, and I had mentioned that mythology is a vast space that can be explored by filmmakers, where there are millions of stories which are waiting to be tapped. And so the film is finally out, and here are my thoughts on it. So, Brahmastra is actually a story of Shiva, and is a part of a trilogy, by the way. It's part one of the trilogy, wherein the protagonist Shiva finds himself in the middle of a astra, you can say, wherein it's about discovering that astra and protecting it from the hands of the evil. And I think this is as vague as I can get about the plot. And the plot is actually a mix of mythology veiled in a good versus evil kind of a template. So there are many layers to the film. I don't know how deep the makers have gone with that, but at least there is an attempt, to bring out the mythological elements in what we can call our own superhero universe, or you can say Astraverse. The screenplay here, standing at almost 3 hours, might seem a little daunting, but for me it was quite a breezy sort of a film, where I did not find any moments which were dull. Now, the first thing that struck me about the film was the visual delight. I mean, this is the IMAX print that I had gone for. This is the IMAX screen that I had gone for. It is the IMAX print. And it was such a visual delight. The first thing that is there, that it almost sucks you in almost immediately, with the kind of visual spectacle that this is. Be it even the VFX right at the start, it absolutely sucks you in. And by the way, do not be late for this film, because the first 20 minutes has a cameo by Shah Rukh Khan, which was the much awaited one. It's the opening 20 minutes of the film, or the opening 15 minutes of the film. So do not be late, because you're going to miss out on this wonderful cameo that is there by Shah Rukh Khan. And that entire sequence that is there is so well choreographed. It sets the ball rolling so well that it gave me goosebumps, when that entire Vanar Astra is unleashed, that actually just gave me goosebumps. Cut to that, there is an introduction of Shiva and how he falls in love with Isha. And notice the name Isha is another name for the wife of Shiva, is called Parvati. Parvati is the wife of Shiva. Isha is another name for Parvati. So intelligent name, providing the name to the characters as well. And I just felt that this love story just was a little wobbly to begin with. There were some cringe elements attached to it. It was cringe worthy at the very beginning, but then for me, the amount of hate that the film is getting for this love story, I think it's a little bit too much for me. I don't think it deserves that much hate, because the love story does settle in. Yes, you can say that there is no chemistry between the two characters. You can say whatever you want, but Does it hamper the the viewing experience of the viewers? I don't think so, not for me at least. And I also have a rant about this film which I'll get to at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But the film is the strongest when it's focusing on the astras and the action sequences related to the astras. That is when the film is absolutely at its strongest. So that contributes to many of the action sequences that are there, and it's just a absolute treat to watch each one of them. There are introduction of so many characters, each one of them who are met with whistles and hooting in a packed IMAX screen today morning that I had watched, and it was such a overwhelming feeling, watching it with a packed audience who were cheering and hooting for every character and every action sequence that was there. I think that is something that is very interesting. Here and there, again, I'm saying there were cringe elements, but the interval block, that is, I think this is probably the best interval block I've seen this year for a Hindi film. Finally, Bollywood has got the interval block right. That entire sequence that is there just leaves you with goosebumps, and you just stay in your seat for that additional 30 seconds after the intervals flashed on the screen. That's how powerful that scene was. Cut to the second half. The second half slightly, slackens in pace, where the protagonist goes into self-realization and self-discovery mode about his power, about his superpower, and how he then ultimately the events leading up to that spectacular final act that is there, it just gets a little slow, but it gives a lot of information about the astras, in that dialogue by Amitabh Bachchan. It gives a lot of information. Yeah, one could argue that you could have gone a little deeper with that, but I mean that's what the maker's decision was, and I don't think that is wrong either, because it would have ultimately also contributed to the length of the film. And so the end, the final act, I think that was really spectacular, and it was a visual delight with goosebump after goosebump, and wherein all, like, everyone was like in Avenger mode, and they actually killed it, all of them. So overall, I really like the screenplay. Yeah, you could argue that the love story doesn't work, but does it hamper the viewing experience? I don't think so. This movie cannot be watched on OTT by any stretch of imagination. I think this is a big screen film, the biggest screen possible you need to watch this film on, preferably IMAX, if not IMAX, at least 3D. I don't think you're going to have the same impact in 2D as well, sorry to say. So, you need the biggest screen possible. Even your phones, laptops, even the LED TVs that you will have is not going to create any impact at home when it finally premieres on Hotstar. So do watch it on the big screen. It's some experience, and probably when I get to the technical aspects that I'm getting to, it's one of the best VFX that I've seen for an Indian film. This can be, you will directly compare it with Marvel. I think that is something that is a little unfair. You don't compare it directly with Marvel, but the the amount of effort that was gone through making this film, it just shows that 7 years, the rigorous journey that had gone through, it just shows. And that the VFX definitely, hides some of the flaws. And to top it, the BGM that is there, the BGM is spectacular and on point. Each Astra has the music that is there, and it gives you such a high, while watching the background music that I'm seeing. The music also by Pritam, I think he's done a fabulous job. There are so many songs that deserve a playlist of its own, and I'm, almost humming the songs, all throughout the day after I've come out of the film. It's brilliant. The weakest element I feel of the film in terms of the technical aspects is the dialogues, and the dialogues are cringeworthy, especially in the beginning. They could have been penned better, lot better. But then again, is it in your face? It's not in your face. Does it hamper your movie experience? It does not hamper by any stretch of imagination. I've seen much worse dialogues literally hampering the entire film, and this is not that film. Yeah, you can argue that the dialogues can be good, can be better, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I don't think it deserves a bad rating because of just the dialogues or just the love story. I think that's a weak criticism according to me, but then probably I'm a little more giving. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments if I'm a little giving or not. But coming to the performances, I think the SRK cameo just took the cake. Right at the beginning, he gave the film a flyer of a start, and absolutely brilliant to watch him on the big screen again, and eagerly waiting for Pathan that is going to be out in Jan. And these sort of cameos are just building up the brand SRK and getting us all back in line for what things to come. Amitabh Bachchan again as Guruji is very well restrained and is delightful to watch. Nagarjun Akineni is absolutely brilliant. That Nandi Astra that is there that he unleashes, oh, it gave me goosebumps. Oh my God, it gave me goosebumps. He's just there in a very limited capacity, limited screen appearance, but he just kills it, and he just kills it how absolutely brilliantly. Moni Roy, I think, also did a good job by the antagonist. Probably the makers could have also considered Tabu for this role, but Moni Roy, I think, did a fabulous job. I think she's intimidating by her looks, and she does a pretty good job. Alia Bhatt is as an interesting case here. She's pretty decent, but she's also getting hate for her role. Now you have to understand this is not the same Alia Bhatt who was seen in Gangubai. This Alia Bhatt would probably be someone who was in 2016, at just 4 years into her budding career, and so you can give her that leeway. She's still pretty decent if you consider that. And Ranbir Kapoor again is very sincere, very effective as Shiva, and he does a spectacular job. He's definitely creates an impact. Yeah, you could argue that the two of them, Alia and Ranbir, who are a real life couple as well, they are husband and wife, but they still did not have much chemistry on screen. But it doesn't hamper the viewing experience. That's what I was trying to say. It doesn't hamper it. So, do I recommend Brahmastra? Absolutely, go for it. It is a big screen experience like no other. Do not listen to any of the critics, and this I'll get to the rant in a bit now. This is one of the best visual spectacles that I've seen this year on celluloid for a Hindi film or for an Indian film also. If this was a Marvel film, people would be going gaga about it, but it's not a Marvel film, so then it does receive criticism as well. Now coming to the critics, there are so many who've given 0 stars or 2 stars. How are you even giving stars, yeah? How are you giving stars? Are you like, what did not click for you? You're giving Kartikeya 4 stars, which was in a similar template, and deservedly so. I also really like Kartikeya 2, by the way, and that was made on a shoestring budget of only 15 crore. I think the makers deserve an applause for that, and I'm absolutely wholeheartedly supporting that film as well. But then how do you scale down this film, Brahmastra, because it was in the similar template? Just because the love story wasn't working? I could have taken, like, if somebody would give a 3 or a 3.5 stars, if not a 4 in comparison to Kartikeya 2, but how are you giving 1 star? How are you giving it 2 stars? I mean, these sort of work from home critics, absolutely, do they even watch the film? I do not know that. Or they just create opinions, you can criticize a film again. That's what we all do. You can criticize it in a constructive manner, but you cannot write off a film completely behind which there's so many people who worked hard on this film, and it shows on screen as well, and you form public opinions. I think that is not cool. So please do not rely on these work from home critics. Form your own opinions. I would say don't even rely on my opinion for that matter. I'm also like a critic. I'm not a work from home critic. I do go, I pay for the ticket, I watch it, and then I review it. I do not halfway watch it and just throw out my review. I'm not in a hurry to give my review at all. I try to give it at the earliest, but I'm not in a hurry. I do not compromise on the job of a critic. So, but still, if you still feel that I am also a part of that, you can absolutely form your own opinions. You do not need to rely on such critics, who actually are, just bringing a film, every second film down. I think that is something that is absolutely not called for, and if Bollywood is trying to do something original in the wake of so many remakes that it has done, then I think it should be encouraged also. And that is my rant. Brahmastra is highly recommended from my side. Totally go and watch it. And yeah, if you're liking this video, please smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts on the film Brahmastra. Also, let me know what are your take on these critics, so-called critics, that every second person is a critic. So, what are your thoughts on these work-from-home critics, who like to pull down films? And also, if there are any recommendations, do let me know. Subscribe to the channel. It's important for a small creator like me. Also, if you'd like to read the full review of Brahmastra, it is in the description box below on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S. Also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd. All the links are in the description box below. I keep forgetting, also press the bell icon. You'll know when I'm uploading the video. So then until next time, and next time comes tomorrow. I'm coming again tomorrow with another Malayalam film, so stay tuned. Thank you so much.